Hello everyone, this is Kilian and the channel is all about leadership and performance coaching, both at an individual and team level. In Leadership That Drives Results, Mr. Goleman describes 6 leadership styles, coaching being one of these. It is a pretty widespread concept and he provides extensive research on that coaching has a positive impact on organizations, elevating performances, forging better and stronger team cultures, ultimately impacting the bottom line. Funnily enough, instead, is the least used of the leadership styles. In the next minutes, we will understand why, but let's start with the definition. What is coaching? Or at least my definition. Coaching is the skill and the art at the same time of slowing down, listening more than talking, although providing a sequence of questions that allow a conversation to emerge, actually co-creating the conversation with the resource, at the same time providing a structure to the dialogue, which has to have a final outcome. But, as we said, it's the least used of the leadership styles. And from what I hear and from what we all know, team leaders and managers don't have the time often to go through the slow and tedious work of listening rather than talking, teaching and letting the person grow. They prefer the quick fix, the advice. Do that, end of the story. What is called the advice monster habit by Michael Steiner in the book The Coaching Habit, which I suggest, an excellent book. And actually, he explains the reasons behind this advice monster habit. Leaders might have a sense of discomfort when they ask questions and let the resource think and emerge. They have a sense of losing control. That's why it's called empowering. They even think if they're being useful. Instead, they prefer the advice. They prefer telling what to do. They have become manager and maybe get promoted because of that. They remain in their comfort zone and tell the resource what he or she should be doing. The resource also remains in the comfort zone. Oh, the boss told me this is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe then later on, retaliate and say, well, it's not my fault. My boss told me this is what I have to do. So both remain in their comfort zones and apparently it's a win-win situation. Are you familiar with that? Is it something that you maybe came across? What's the result? The result often for leaders, for team leaders, is to get overwhelmed, to create overdependence of their resources, and this is why they become overwhelmed. And at the end, becoming overwhelmed, you might lose sight of what is the core of the problem, and you might maybe run after some fake issues or some fake problems. Does this sound any familiar? Okay, in this video on introducing more coaching in your leadership style and having a coaching mindset in the way you manage people, I'll provide you some practical tips on how you can slowly shift your style and introduce more coaching. Stay with me for the next couple of minutes. In The Coaching Habit, the author shares a set of questions which I find pretty interesting. Let's go to the kickstart, the first one. What's on your mind today? This is a dialogue between the team leader and the resource. What's on your mind today? It is pretty general, but on the other side, focused enough, giving the responsibility to the resource to come up with something relevant. The second question is actually introducing a question while the dialogue moves on. The question is, what else? Every time a person comes up with an aspect, an issue, a topic, what else? Don't be afraid to ask what else several times, 2, 3, even 4 times. until you get to the point there is nothing else. It may create a bit of discomfort, but you want to make sure that you are starting the process of getting to the core of the issue. A third interesting question is, what's the real challenge here? Once you have been digging with the series of what else, you want to understand not the secondary issue, not something which comes maybe from another widely accepted problem coming from another conversation. You don't want to discuss about a symptom. You want to slowly get deeper and deeper and deeper to the roots, to the core of the issue for the person. So often, leaders don't listen enough to their resources. They don't want to move from the comfort zone, as we have discussed. The resource doesn't want to move from the comfort zones. They both accepted, I tell you what to do, and the resource does what the manager say, and we don't get to the real issues. You might end up going off track and investing time and energy on issues which are not really important. This, what's the real challenge here, wants to resolve this issue. If you add at the end, what's the real challenge here for you, you even personalize a little bit more the questioning, adding empathy and connection with the resource. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the video. Try to use these tactics and tips into your daily working life. Use more coaching in your leadership styles. Learn this process of going slow and low. You'll have several advantages. First, you are leading this discovery process where memory retention is increased by your resources because it's passing and traveling through their consciousness and they are choosing to do and go in a certain direction. Secondly, probe more. This what else trick, what else, what else, what else. Get to the core of the issues. You think that you may be wasting time, actually you're saving time because you're not going off track. Third, what is it that you want? You should be asking this question at least 5 times per day to your resources. It's at the heart of coaching. Empowering people and responsibilizing them for the outcome and giving them a vision that goes directly at the end. And fourth, learn to wait. Learn to lose control. It might feel a bit uncomfortable at the beginning, but trust that you're being useful in this process. Concluding, I'm not saying that you should abandon your performance coaching role, giving advice on tasks and being a bit more pushy. I'm just giving you the advantages of moving from an advice-led type of culture to a more curiosity-led, from a pushy type of approach to a more pull approach, where the resources will come to you with the solution. And actually, funnily enough, you could be wasting less time. It could be more of a later option to have people do the work rather than you all the time being at the front end. Okay, thanks for listening. Don't forget to smile and have fun. 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞.